What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Fact versus Fiction. I'm your host, the man with the plan. Ooh, my bad. I know I just busted some eardrums. That would. Jeez. All right. And today I'm doing a follow-up video from when the girl who slapped the interviewer, which I have some names for you now. So the girl who was who punched the interviewer, her name is Brianna. Um, she did a response video to what happened from her perspective, and the interviewer, who we know as Savannah, she does street interviews and everything like that. So she wasn't really expecting this to happen. There was nothing to really entice that type of reaction out of Brianna. And then we also have updates as to what happened as well. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it.
So, first and foremost, I want to sincerely apologize to Savannah for this, horrific series of events. I do honestly feel terrible about it, and I am so sorry to you. I will say I am very saddened that initially, when I woke up, it seemed like she was, genuinely gonna be cool. I was walking past on Lenox Avenue, and I gave Savannah a compliment. I told her, "Oh, I like your dress," because she had on like this floral print dress, and it was a great kind of rainy day. It was kind of cold. New York is still kind of cold here. And I said, "Really cute. It's like sunshine on a rainy day." So this is me, like, as a passerby, literally going by her. People were saying in a lot of the comments that I walked up to her like I'm a clout chaser. I was trying to get on the mic. I was looking for a platform to speak on. That's not true at all. Any of that. I am genuinely friendly and genuinely spread love. So anytime I can give someone a compliment, regardless to what it was that I was going through in my personal life at that time, I can. So the initial approach was cool. It was going smooth. Then she invited me to be on her channel. So she goes, "Oh, hey there, do you want to do an interview?" Generally an interview with, a professional reporter. They ask questions, they collect data, you move on. So this is what I'm thinking. As I first approached, her body language was, friendly, welcome.
And I will say, Brianna, she did go up there. She said, "Oh, what is this? Is this for YouTube?" Savannah was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Okay, cool." And then Savannah was like, "Do you want to, do you mind being up here? I'll ask you a couple questions." She was like, "Yeah, sure." So she was already kind of like accepting of the fact of what was kind of going on. Maybe even though she might not have known what the questions were going to be about, it was the fact that you still acknowledge that you're going to be on video. You acknowledge the fact that you're going to be doing an interview, even though you didn't know what questions were going to be. So what? And also, I can't really consider Savannah a professional interviewer or journalist, because I mean, she's just a regular person. She has a small YouTube channel, bigger than mine, but she has more of a following, and I wouldn't consider that really. I wouldn't consider a professional interview. More likely, more like an amateur, but also learning at the same time. But anyways, let's keep going.
Very professional. As the interview went on, her demeanor kind of switched and her body language changed to condescending and confrontational.
And I did mention that in the reaction video that I did, that Savannah's body language did change during the process of the interview, and I said that was a mistake, and that could have contributed as to why this lady Brianna ended up punching Savannah in the face, even though it was still unwarranted and unnecessary. But let's go.
To explain one answer to a question, she continued to rapid fire questions, causing my answers to become overlapped and left open for misinterpretation because I was not able to completely explain what it was that I was saying. And I truthfully was not in the right state of mind. So it was just not coming together the way that it should have.
And how are you going to say you weren't in the right state of mind when you walked up to her, you said, "Hey, that's a beautiful dress." You agreed to do an interview. It wasn't like you were high or on any type. As far as we know, you were acting pretty civil, pretty normal, pretty sober. Like you had your thoughts already. You had your thoughts formulated. You know what to say. You didn't slur your words. You didn't hesitate to do it. You didn't hesitate to do the interview. But with this video, I am gonna kind of like skip ahead to some important other stuff because she does ramble a lot, and she's wrote notes, so she knew what she was gonna say. But anyway, let's go.
You to flip my words on this very slippery subject. The light that Savannah is shining me in is so false. I am so polite and friendly. I'm not volatile. It really takes a lot, for anything like this to come out of me. I'm very upset that I allowed this woman to railroad me into becoming so angry. I would have declined speaking with her had she led with the interview's premise, or had I known that Savannah's entire rhetoric is to rage bait.
Savannah didn't shine a light on a person. Like, that's who you are. It didn't take you that long to it didn't take you that long to snap on her just because you disagreed on a situation or on a topic. It's up to you to control your emotions. Even if you didn't like the conversation, you could have just said, "All right, I'm bound out. I don't have this discussion anymore. I'm good to I want to leave." And she could have said, "All right, cool, that's fine." You didn't have to. In Throughout the interview, you can see how she kind of escalates her hostility, her aggressiveness, her tone becomes more. It becomes more aggressive throughout the interview process because she was getting triggered. If you didn't want to have the interview in the first place, regardless of if you knew what the questions were or not, you could have still turned away before the interview started. But let's go.
Infiltrate and manipulate people that she invites on her platform to interview and then forces her ideologies down their throat. I'm sorry.
And also, she didn't really force she didn't force her ideology down your throat or anybody else's throat. She was just simply giving a perspective and a rebuttal and kind of asking questions of why would you say this? Why would you think that? Whatever. Let's continue.
Yeah, right, this video, as of now, has altered my life drastically. The internet is literally making me a political martyr. When I simply believe that women should have the choice if they want to become a mother or not. When Savannah asks, "So you're saying kill foster kids?" When I said, "Yeah, why not?" It wasn't saying killing living, breathing children. That was never the message.
But that's what you said.
You don't get to kill the baby just because their dad didn't want them. You can. Should we kill the kids in foster care?
Why not? Why not, if that's the case?
Because if a woman knows that she's pregnant, it's early enough that she can terminate. Savannah has controlled this narrative definitely for too long. People are calling me a leftist and a delusional Democrat. I am being cyberbullied and body shamed by not only Savannah, but her thousands of supporters. These people have shared my personal information, also my family's information. I've had strangers go to my previous residence in regard to this incident. At this point,
Savannah's not controlling any type of narrative. Savannah's not controlling any type of narrative. You know, you did what you did. It was caught on camera. It happened. However, she shouldn't be doxxed. Her information shouldn't be put out there like that, because there are dangerous people out there. People are crazy. You can get a ton of death threats, people trying to figure out where you live at, work at, stuff like that. So in that sense, it could be dangerous. So I don't condone that. She shouldn't have punched the girl in the first place. So that's on her. That's her fault. But like I was saying, we have an update as well. You remember, I think when I did the video, which at this point is going to be, so she got arrested. Says the woman who sucker punched pro-life activists during a street interview has been arrested for the brazen on-camera attack, according to NYPD. Brianna, who we just saw, who was 30, was arrested on Thursday on one count of second-degree assault for her callous beating of activist Savannah, who was the interviewer, during a street interview on the topic of abortion last week, according to the NYPD. Just got word from detective. Brianna was arrested. God is good. And that was a quote of what Savannah said in an Instagram post. Yeah. I'm not sure if I'm pretty sure, I mean, that was Thursday. So I'm pretty sure she made bail at this point. So I'm pretty sure they're going to be going to trial and everything like that. The Savannah ended up getting a couple stitches above her lower left eyebrow. So she got a couple stitches. So I'm pretty sure they're going to be going to court for that, obviously. But yeah, more of the story, keep your hands to yourself. There was no reason for Brianna to do that. There was no reason to get that angry. If you felt any type of way, you should just say, yeah, I'm not comfortable with this conversation anymore, and gracefully bow out of the debate or interview, and then keep it pushing. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. So, yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. Hit that like button, comment down below, subscribe, share with your friends and family, do all that good stuff. Let me know what you guys thought. I just blacked out. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are on the topic and situation, and I will catch you guys in the next video. And guess what? If you are not there, then you are square. So until next time, peace.
Turn his TV off, turn his TV off, turn his TV off.